So today I'm going to tell you about the college football playoff game Oklahoma actually won, wink wink, nudge nudge, and my takeaways from OU West Virginia, as well as some thoughts about Texas, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today I'm going to tell you, first of all, that Kyler Murray is awesome. The man should win the Heisman Trophy going away. He is far and away the best player in college football today, perhaps one of the best in college football history. And the arguments are in those pesky statistical categories that rank him ahead of a guy named Tua Tagovailoa, who happens to be the quarterback on the best team in college football if he's only the second best player. Yes, Kyler Murray should be that guy. And that's not just because Oklahoma is, the team, but we have Kyler Murray and you don't. And that was on full display against West Virginia with over 350 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing, and the two back-to-back plays to seal the victory 59-56 in Morgantown. Oklahoma finished the season undefeated on the road and undefeated at home. Still probably won't make the college football playoff. Get into that in a minute. One of the things I also want you to take away from this game, though, is that Oklahoma scored 59 points with 30 fewer plays than West Virginia, which is basically what they've been doing all year. This Sooner team has only needed about 62 plays to score 50 a game and put up almost 600 yards a game. Against West Virginia, 668. Gave up 704, but it doesn't matter if you get the W now, does it? And of course, the next takeaway is Kennedy Brooks is the people's champ. And I say that because Trey Sermon's probably still the number one on the depth chart when you're looking at the board, but the way that Kennedy Brooks has been running the ball, particularly in the month of November, it's very hard to look at that backfield and not make him the number one, not just because he has been running like a man shot out of a cannon, averaging about 9 yards per carry, something gaudy, but also because he's the only guy who's managed to keep himself healthy for the entire season. So that has to count for something as well. And when he got stymied at the line, he seemed to break one for 50. He had over 180 yards rushing in this game. And it's safe to say you don't win this game unless Kennedy Brooks is running the way that he ran against West Virginia. Yeah, he's everybody's favorite running back at Oklahoma right now and probably will be for some time. Next takeaway is that Hollywood Brown made a lot of money last night in this game against West Virginia. With his cousin Antonio Brown on the sideline, dressed like Curtis Mayfield, dressed like a Pittsburgh pimp, he showed out. 11 catches for 243 yards, and he's showing that he is the kind of new age wide receiver that you're looking for in the NFL. He falls into the mold of Brandon Cooks. He falls into the mold of Robert Woods. He falls into the mold of the small, short, fast dudes like Tyreek Hill who can go get passes. If you want a guy that can take the top off the defense and have dependable hands, but also go across the middle and hit that stick route, Hollywood Brown is that kind of player. And if he was a late first-round pick going into this game, he's moving up into the mid-round after it. You don't have an answer for a guy like Hollywood on the defense, and that counts for a lot. Next takeaway is that Holly Rowe loves her some Creed Humphrey. You heard it during the broadcast if you listened to OU West Virginia or watched it on TV, that she followed Creed Humphrey around and she got to see how that man works and how focused he is. And she puts a lot of stock, as you should, into the coaching staff saying Creed Humphrey is the most talented guy on the entire team. That includes Kyler Murray, Hollywood Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Rodney Anderson when he was healthy. It matters, right? And she was basically taking stock of the entire offensive line, and her along with Todd Blackledge were like, yo, this OU offensive line is the best in the country. Joe Moore Award, you can give it up this year, it's fine. And Bill Bedenbaugh is the best offensive line coach in the country, if not the best assistant in the country. Next takeaway is that the secondary is buttery, as in toast. It was real hard not to look at the secondary as a group and say, man, y'all are actually bad. Now, Robert Barnes showed some flashes, and Trey Norwood showed some flashes, and Parnell Motley looked like he wanted to hit some people, and Trey Brown made a couple cool plays, but there's nothing to say that's good about 539 yards passing. It's not. Giving up a 200-yard receiver and a 100-yard receiver. That's not a good look no matter who you are. And I understand that Ruffin McNeil has this mantra about him where, did we get a W or did we get a W? That's okay as a slogan, but it ain't going to appease fans. It surely is not going to appease your defense. You don't want to be the kind of defense that gets pulled along by the offense. You want to be a defense that has your own identity and can impose your will on folks, and that's not what they were doing. On the other hand, next takeaway is that you couldn't have won this game without the defense, and I really need you to think about that. The game was 59-56. The defense had 12 points, okay? And if Caleb Kelly doesn't do his Superman thing, where he has a strip, a sack, a fumble, a recovery, and a score for the quintuplet, yeah, you don't win the game. And if the West Virginia wide receiver does not try to block Trey Brown into the stands, there's no flag called, and that run that went for a touchdown would have went for a touchdown. Eventually. Maybe not that play, but you get the point. And if Parnell Motley didn't get that pass interference call, you don't get the next play. And if you don't get the next play, you don't get a fumble. You don't get a fumble, Curtis Bolton doesn't pick it up and go score. So that's 12 points that the defense scored in a game that had a difference of 3. So while, yeah, I'm going to bang on the defense for giving up 700 yards, 500 yards through the air, also need to clap for them because they won the game, in a matter of speaking. Last takeaway is that Oklahoma won a college football playoff game. That's with an asterisk by it. I put this in here because, yo, man, this is a de facto play-in game for the Big 12 championship. And Oklahoma would make history in winning 4 straight Big 12 crowns. 1, 2, you get an opportunity to avenge a loss against Texas. But 3, cheekily say it's college football playoff game because Oklahoma ain't never won no college football playoff game. And because Oklahoma might not have an opportunity to play in a college football playoff game in 2018 because there's a log jam at the number 4 spot for which Oklahoma might be 3rd in line at best, and I gotta assume that that spot might not even be given up or might be taken by the 2 dudes in front of it. Oklahoma ranks number 6 in the college football playoff poll, could get jumped by Ohio State. Georgia could get in there. Michigan could keep the spot. You see what I'm saying here. In the meantime, we are going to just have to look forward to skull-dragging Texas. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.